semester away, really immersed in a completely different educational system in another culture, really provides you with a significant experience to kind of add to your Amherst academic experience and to add to your resume. I think the longer a student actually stays abroad, the more opportunities to volunteer, to do a non-credit internship, and many students are doing that when they go abroad, so it gives us this other dimension.
Wait for me. Wait for me. Wait for me. Wait for.
We really got to travel quite a lot. We traveled we went to the Cook Islands in Rarotonga, the main island of the Cook Islands, and we also spent 3 weeks in New Zealand, traveling around the Bay of Plenty region. It was really interesting to go to these beautiful, beautiful places, but also do some research, some hands-on research, and collect some data about what's going on there, and have professors traveling with us and with their TAs, and they're always like giving us lectures and helpful information while we are traveling. So it's basically like taking field trips.
Not really any streams necessarily, maybe coming off just over there. We've got a little bit coming downhill.
That's a good point. You said subsurface. Maybe they're connected underground.
We have been exposed to a lot of cultural elements, so different like performances as well of Maori songs and dances, and go to spiritually significant places of the Maori, and we have met amazing people that have amazing stories to share, and who do really great things in their fields. So we could see, how one person can really make a difference, and all you need is just that passion, that fire burning within you, in order to carry through your work. Just do it regardless of what others say. Start somewhere and keep on building from there.
Study abroad has always been a significant part of the experience. About 40% of the junior class has studied abroad for over a decade. Students are studying abroad in Africa, Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, and Europe, of course. So we have an approved list of about 200 different programs that students can choose from. They're pre-approved. The faculty has, encourages students to attend them. They've been evaluated for, we look at the reputation of the host university or the study abroad program provider. Students they're studying directly at host institutions. They're doing research programs on study abroad. They're living with host families or with students in a dorm. Some of them not only are going to classes, but they're volunteering, doing research, and having an internship. There's so many different options for students when they're on study abroad.
Okay, so I went abroad to Costa Rica with the program Associated Colleges in the Midwest. It was a small program of about 14 students, and the main thing I did there was a research project about fair trade coffee cooperatives. So I actually stayed in a rural community for 3 weeks and worked at a coffee cooperative each day, and then produced a research project at the end of the semester. I was interested in that and kind of how fair trade coffee kind of labeled their products as helping the poor, or that like 100% of the profit would go to small farmers, and kind of investigating the truth in that, and how much of the fair trade coffee label is actually exploited.
Last semester I went to study abroad in Cuba, and while I was there I studied a various amount of things, but primarily economics and philosophy. And I did a research project comparing the two health systems, the Cuban health system and the American health system. Their system is completely free, it's public, there's lots of various differences, but it's interesting to see just the level of care that people could get in Cuba, even though there's so few resources there. More on a quantitative side, I also looked at data comparing like infant mortality, life expectancy, which are up to developed country levels in Cuba. And then I compared preventable mortality, which is something very interesting because in the United States we've been performing pretty poorly in that actually. So it just helped me understand a lot more about the United States and its relations with Cuba. I got a lot of help from the study abroad office, especially from Jenna. And when I came in, I said, I really want to have an experience that isn't so common because I've already been to Mexico and my heritage is Dominican and Puerto Rican, so that felt like something that wouldn't be too new for me. And I had a friend on the baseball team who went to Cuba 2 years ago, and he had a great experience. So from there, I was really interested in doing that. So I received a lot of support and looked into different programs that would accept students from other colleges. I got to meet people through baseball because it was something we shared in common, that superseded the language barrier. Like that. And it's true. Many cars there are from the 50s, 60s, and it's kind of like it took a snapshot of that time period and it was just left like that. It was one of the few times in my life where I had very few worries. I had work to do, I had things that were going on, but I just felt like I really got immersed in the culture there and really focused on that experience and enjoyed it more.
So study abroad is rarely cost prohibitive at Amherst. Students, if they go on an approved program, their entire financial aid package will travel with them. Students can actually include airfare and other reasonable expenses. Obviously, it's very unique to a student's aid package, but I have yet to see a student who's not able to study abroad for financial reasons. The college is very generous in that manner. Again, the college values study abroad so much that we're willing to allow the entire financial aid package to go on the study abroad program.
Okay. So I went abroad with International Honors Program, and IHP is a comparative study program where students are able to go abroad to multiple countries and study a consistent theme or topic in each of those countries. And so my program was called Health and Community, and my track of the program went to South Africa, Vietnam, and Brazil. And we actually started in Washington, D.C. And so basically in all 3/4 of those countries and cities, we studied health and community and the different aspects of social life, economic life, government policy, all types of factors that affect the health of populations. And so we were able to study consistent topics in each of those places. For example, one thing that came up in all 3 countries, all 4 actually, was HIV and AIDS and how prevalent that is throughout the entire world. And I think being able to go to South Africa and Brazil was especially interesting because those 2 countries are always compared with respect to HIV and AIDS. And I'd say that has affected my career path in the sense that I've known for some time that I want to work with public health and health disparities and things like that. But I think going abroad helped me see more about how global health is. Although it has to do with different areas of the world, a lot of the themes are consistent throughout different places. And like looking at how other countries have addressed certain topics or how they've looked to improve the health of their populations can really help throughout the world. So the U.S. can very well look at how Brazil has dealt with their HIV and AIDS epidemic and how South Africa has done so as well. And so like global health is really interrelated in a sense that every country can learn from other countries and the things that they have dealt with. So.